All right, welcome back. So on deck today is going to be another ballistics test. This time would be 5.56mm, and the loading we'll be testing will be the IMI Razor Core 77 grain hollow point bolt tail match. This is IMI's clone of the MK262 Mod 1 loaded by Black Hills. This uses the same projectile, the 77 grain hollow point bolt tail match from Sierra, with the addition of the cantilever groove, giving it the Mod 1 designation. This is loaded to 5.56 pressure spec, so I'm getting in excess of 2,700 feet per second out of the 16-inch barrel, so it is loaded where it's supposed to be velocity-wise to match that loading. However, it's not loaded to the same tolerances, so I wouldn't expect to get the same level of accuracy out of it, but terminally, this should be a perfect match for the MK262 Mod 1. So I've never seen the Mod 1 with the cantilever groove fired through car windshield, so it'll be interesting to see how this performs. So I'll show you a setup and we'll get this going. All right, so this is set up. We've fired at this windshield before with the same setup in a previous video with the 9mm and the 40 cal. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. But we're going to shoot for hopefully an uncompromised section on the windshield. We had this angle back at approximately 45 degrees per the FBI protocol. Now, this is not the FBI's laminated safety glass that they actually use. I know that, guys, but I don't have any of that. It is, however, an actual car windshield, so it should be a decent stand-in. Behind that, we have our 1-gallon water jugs. These are approximately 5 inches thick. Typically, what I see is approximately 1.5 times penetration. That of what I would see in ordnance gel. So hopefully, we would like to see ultimately the round get to into jug 4. I'm not sure if this one's going to do it because it's not a barrier bullet, but it'll still be interesting to see just how well it does. So let's go ahead and get this going. Okay, we're approximately 10 feet away. All right, let's go see what we got. Okay, so the shot came in an area that wasn't near our handgun rounds. We have jug 1 pretty well destroyed. This is not surprising. Jug 2, and there is a lot of fragments inside of jug 2. There is a large piece of the jacket in front of jug 3. We'll see if anything got into 3. Looks like crack. Yeah, so just a crack from that jacket on jug 3. So kind of like I thought, not a lot of penetration through the windshield. It's not the best design for that, but I still want to see how it did. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do one with a shorter barrel just to see if a lower impact velocity affects it at all. So let me go dig out a shorter barrel and we'll see how that does. All right, this will be from an 11.5-inch barrel. All right, let's go check that out. All right, so we put our shot again underneath where our pistol rounds were, virtually the same area as the 16-inch barrel. And like before, obviously jug 1 is destroyed, which again, not surprising. Jug 2 thoroughly destroyed. And this time it just looks like we got more fragments on the table. It just emptied out of jug 2. Yeah, don't see anything into 3. So essentially the same thing, just turns the bullet into fragments. So again, not the greatest performance through glass. Again, the bullet's not designed for that, but I was just curious to see. I want to try one more thing. I want to go ahead and hit this with a green tip round, since both of these are used side by side in the global war on terror overseas. I want to see how the green tip compares to this in car windshield. All right, this is a Lake City M855 green tip, and we'll be firing it through the 16-inch barrel. All right, let's go check that out. All right, our shot came in right in between our two MK262s. And well, we see a lot of destruction on jug 1. You can see that it's fragmented. Probably the steel penetrator there. See some jacket in jug 2. Let's see. Okay, so nothing made it into 3. Let me see if anything skirted off to the sides. I see some jacket stuck in the bottle here. And nope. Okay, so I'm gonna look around and see if I can find that steel penetrator. All right, well, all I could find was a piece of the core lying in jug 2. Looks like everything else just got washed away on the table whenever the jugs exploded. So 2 jugs of penetration, so basically the same thing as the Mark 262 Mod 1. These jugs that are leaking on the side, nothing made it into the side jugs. That's just where tiny fragments of glass and whatnot punctured them, but nothing's inside them. So that's all that was remaining. All right, let's take this to tailgate and wrap this up. All right, guys, so what's the final thoughts on all this? Well, as you can see by the pile of fragments on the table, neither of these rounds is an optimal choice for shooting through car windshields. So what's the deal with Mark 262? Well, basically it was developed for the, I believe it was the Mark 12, is 18-inch barrel accurized AR. RM16 variant, and it was supposed to be used for long-range precision engagements and whatnot in the 5.56 caliber, and the round was developed alongside that weapons platform, and it does work very well for that application. In open country long range, yes, it's a good performing round. Subsequently, it also was found to perform quite well out of the shorter barrels, such as the 10.3 inch on the I believe the Mark 18. They found, hey, this works really well out of the short barrels too, so it has a really good following by those that have used it overseas. It is a consistent performer in the soft tissue department, just not the best barrier penetrator. And so it depends on your application. As a general purpose duty ammunition, I would say no. There's too much chance of having to shoot through things like windshields and whatnot, and there's just better choices out there. But for home defense, hunting, or oddly enough, the heavy OTMs also do well to ward off brush deflection. We've done some tests in the past on the channel, which you can check out, and it actually performs quite well at resisting deflection through brush. So there are applications for it, but punching through hard barriers is not one of them. So green tip, quite a disappointment. This is exactly why green tip is not preferred for just about anything. About the only thing it does well is it will punch through mild steel fairly well, but that's about it. We've seen that in the past on the channel, but other than that, it really leaves a lot to be desired. It gives erratic performance in just about everything else, and you're not even getting any extra barrier performance penetration in typical barriers like a car windshield than you would over a match hollow point, which is kind of pathetic when you think about it, especially considering the match hollow points will give more consistent soft tissue performance and better thermal performance in general, particularly out of short barrels. So yeah, now you can see why this round is largely being replaced by M855A1. I believe there's others out there. Mark 318 I believe is another, and you could see why this round really just has a spotty reputation. It's really not it's not the greatest at just about anything. All right, guys. Well, if you're carrying a 5.56 and you're using it for home defense or law enforcement, make sure you do some research. Do some real good research on your duty ammunition, because you may think you have like particularly a full metal jacket, or where you think you might have a great performing round that's going to punch through barriers and whatnot. Turns out probably not so much. There are certainly much better projectiles for general purpose duty use, such as the bonded lines of fusion and gold dot and monolithic copper projectiles such as the Barnes and whatnot. So they do make good ammunition for the 5.56 for that purpose. But for home defense, this is going to be a great round. For hunting, it'll be a great round. But if you're trying to punch barriers, not so much. All right, guys, if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe, share the video. It helps the channel out. As always, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about all this. But as always, please keep those comments professional, and I'll see you guys next time.